My son, pay attention to what I say. Turn your ear to my words. Do not let them out of your sight. Keep them within your heart, for they are life to those who find them and health to one's whole body. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Good morning, people, family of God. It is a beautiful December 26th, the day after Christmas. I tell you, if your Christmas was anything like mine, I'm sure it was. You just spent time with your family, loving on them and being thankful to have a few days off, but also to bask in the love and the glow of Christmas. That time of year where all people want to do is give to someone else, especially to those they love. I hope that your Christmas wasn't stressful and stressed out. Now I tell you, having family in your house and sharing your living space is going to always have a little stress brought with it. I don't care how close you was. It's something about growing up. When you grow up and move out of your mom and daddy's house, you get your own house. And when people start coming to your house, well, then there's a stress that goes with it. But I want to tell you that it's all worth it. It's a beautiful thing. Make sure that your relationships are good before they leave your house. Make sure that you're loving on your extended family. Make sure that your mother knows that everything's all right. Your children. Make sure you take care of your wife or your husband, and just make sure that everybody who's in your house feels like they are part of your house. And God will guide you and your family always. Here we find a father who's talking to his son. Oh, the wise king simply says to his son, son, pay attention to what I say. If I could give a message to young people today, I would simply say to them, stop thinking that you know everything because you don't, and pay attention to what somebody who's older and wiser than you is saying to you. If an older person from a different generation is speaking to you, don't think of them as being foolish. That is dumb of you. But always remember that folks who have been through something, who have been aged a little bit, who've had some trials and some struggles, every now and again, it's easy and it's simple for you to just sit down, and wise for you to sit down and listen to what they say. The father saying, son, pay attention. I believe that there are some lessons that we should only have to learn once in a generation. Man, the problem we have is that we keep making the same mistakes in every generation as we go on. One generation makes that mistake, the next generation come along make the same mistake, the next one have to make the same mistake. It don't make sense. The wise man is saying, listen to the words that I say, son. Pay attention to what you see and what you hear. If you've had an uncle and a cousin and a great granddaddy, if you've had all these folks in your life who struggle with alcohol and drugs, it doesn't make sense for you to come along and struggle with the same thing that they struggle with. Now, I'm not saying that you won't have a propensity to doing those things, but you shouldn't make the exact same mistakes that some of those folks in your past have made. No, no, no. You should be able to listen, read, watch, and see what's going on so that you won't have to go through the same things they've been through. Oh, how I wish my father would have set me down. Like this dad who says, son, listen, I'm gonna share some stuff with you from my past that I've learned. I'm gonna share it with you in hopes that you will glean from what I've been through. You see, there are some lessons that we shouldn't have to learn over and over again. Do I have to remind you the danger of drugs when you've seen what drugs have done to your family, to your friends, to your neighbor's house? Do I got to remind you of how to be faithful and loyal to your wife when you've seen what has happened to men and women long before you ever showed up? You've got secrets running around in your own neighborhood. Do I got to remind you that you should be faithful to your wife or to your husband? No. What needs to happen is there has to be a father in your life who will take that place and say, son, listen and pay attention to what I say. And your job, sister and brother, son or daughter, is to listen and pay attention. Our problem is we don't like to pay attention to what people say anymore. We want to do what we want to do. And when we face that brick wall, we run into it and bust our head and knock our teeth out, then we want to start blaming other folk because they didn't tell us. I charge the older generation. I charge fathers and mothers, uncles and aunts, older cousins and nieces and nephews. Share what you've learned with the younger generation. Oh, they may not listen. Like even this dad had to remind his son, shut up and listen to what I'm telling you. I'm trying to share something with you, boy. Now he'd been talking for chapters now, and this son was getting all kinds of information. I wonder how much he kept in his mind and how much he remembered, how much he applied. But he was getting it. And I charge you older folk, you gotta share with this younger generation. They are hard-headed, they don't want to hear it, but they need to hear it. And you need to be the one to share it with them. Share your struggles. Be real with them. Look, son, I've made that mistake before, and I'm gonna tell you, it ain't gonna help you going out there doing what you're doing. And I'm gonna tell you, I know what you're doing, and we need to stop faking, acting like we don't know what's going on. Let these folks, boy, I know you out late at night. I know what you're doing. I know you've been drinking too much. I know you smoking weed. I know you out there chasing every woman, every skirt you see. I'm gonna tell you, we tried it and it didn't work for us, and it ain't gonna work for you. We need to be real with our children. Pay attention to what I'm saying, boy. You're talking so much. You're doing everything. You think you got it all figured out. Wet behind the ears and don't know a thing. Ain't got no wisdom in you. But you want to do what you want to do and think you're going to be all right behind it. No. Pay attention to what I'm saying. He told him to turn his ears to his words. Look, man. Let me get you. Slap him in the face. Look at me. I got something to say to you. We need to talk to our kids, man. Do not let them out of your sight, he says. Man, words bring imagery. This man was trying to make his words real to his son, to help him to imagine and see what he's saying. Son, turn your ears to me and imagine what I'm talking to you about. Keep it in your mind, boy. It will save you. It'll be health to your bones one day if you just listen. He says, for they are life to those who find them. Now see, here's the deal. The Bible says to train up a child in the way he should go, and when he grows old, he won't depart. So here's the thing. When we start teaching our kids with our words and our actions, when we start speaking life into our kids and reminding them of their purpose in life and what God has called them to, and then live a life that is worthy, maybe not perfect, but a life that is worthy and pleasing before the Lord. And when we can start talking to our kids, well, here's what happened. He says, it will give them life to those who find them. You see, those words get stored somewhere in their spiritual consciousness, in their mind. The words that you are speaking, the life you're living is going on, and they're playing it through. They don't agree with it. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to see it. They don't want to be nothing like you right now because they're young and they're ignorant. But one day, those words will replay. How many of you would say that I can remember my big mom used to say this all the time? I didn't know what it meant. I remember my mom and dad used to tell me, remember those days? They used to tell you stuff. They used to tell you stuff. And you didn't know what it meant. You didn't know what you didn't believe it. You was mad at them for telling you. But now at 30, 40, 50 years old, those words play in your mind. And you can see them saying it. And you find yourself saying the exact same thing they said to you. He says, for they are life to those who find them. They are stored in their memory. They're stored in their mind. You tell your child you love them. I love you, son. I'm with you. I remember Big Mama used to say, baby, don't get in trouble. Because if you go out there and you get in trouble and you get arrested, you're going to stay in that jail. You're going to stay there until you pay it. You make sure you do what is right. If she said, if you're right, I'm with you. If you're wrong, Big Mama going to let you sit it out. And I remember those words. I ain't never want to go to jail because I knew for a fact Big Mama wasn't coming to get me if I was wrong. Can't go out there selling dope and then want to call Mama, come and get me. No, stop selling dope. I'm telling you what to do right now. I'm telling you ahead of time, son. Don't go out there drinking and smoking up everything, robbing and stealing folk. You're going to get hurt or thrown in prison. But don't go out there to do what you want to do. And then now you want to call me. I got to put my house up to get you out of jail. No, we need to stop it, parent. Tell them ahead of time. Like Big Mama told me. You go out there, you get arrested for doing something crazy, you're going to sit it out. Listen to my words, son. There'll be life to your bones. I'm telling you if you just listen. He says, and then there'll be health to one's whole body. Man, did you know that your words could help your child be healthy? Your words could help your child make good decisions. Man, I know you think they're not listening, but they hear what you're saying. Stop, don't sit back and let them do what they want to do. Start talking to your kids. Start talking to other folks' kids. They need to understand that there's a different way how they're supposed to act and behave. If you letting that kid walk down the street with his pants down to his knees, gold teeth in his mouth, and nappy hair, or acting a fool all the time, if you ain't trying to tell him something and remind him, and first of all, modeling it for yourself, doing what's right, but then speak life into him, let him know so he ain't got nothing else to think about. He think his way is the right way. That's what he's thinking or what she's thinking. If you don't tell that baby girl, don't go out and have sex with everybody you see, baby. It'll kill you know, with kids from everybody. You need to be speaking life into them and letting them know. They don't want to hear it, but they need to hear it. They need to have it in their memories, in their spiritual consciousness. They need to have it. They need to recall your words when it's time to make that decision, when it's time to date that boy or girl, when the weed is passed around and they got a choice to smoke or not. They should hear your words and hear your mouth. They should know that you don't stand for it. And they should know where you stand with God. Finally, he says, above all else, guard your heart. For everything you do flows from it. Boy, I tell you, I wish my dad had taught me that. Have you been told that to guard your heart? You can't let everybody in your heart. You can't just trust everybody and fall for everything. You can't go out and do any and everything you want to do, expecting not to affect your heart. So you got to guard your heart. If I could have known this just 20, 30 years ago, just guard your heart, man. Don't let people and folks and garbage and junk in your heart. Don't start doing stuff where you create patterns and habits that'll kill you one day, that'll destroy your marriage and get you fired from your job or get you thrown in jail. Guard your heart. See, you start letting those little things in your heart that you don't even notice. You just let it in your heart, in everything. You fall for it all. It looks good, you're chasing it. If it tastes good, you want to taste it. You're not guarding your heart. Guard your heart, because everything you do flows from your heart. As a matter of fact, everything you say flows from your heart. He said, you got to guard that thing, man. Your heart is the most valuable tool you have. You have the power to control what and who gets into your heart. You got to guard it. Can't hang out with everybody and do what everybody else do. Guard that heart, because everything you do in life flows from your heart. Today, I want to challenge you, older folk, to speak more, to live a good life before the life of our children and speak life into them. And I want to charge all of our young folk. Listen to somebody who's older and wiser than you. Stop making the same decision your folks have made for 3, 4, 5 generations. You doing the exact same thing. The cycle has to be broken, and it begins with you. But you got to listen. Pay attention to what I say. Be blessed. Endure through all your trials and know that God is with you. I hope you enjoyed the message today.